If you're like me, you probably think that modern movies kind of suck. So today I thought we'd go down the rabbit hole and talk about my all-time top 5 favorite performances from an American icon, Jimmy Stewart. These are in no particular order. These are just my favorites. And if you've got different ideas, why don't you comment and tell me what your favorite Jimmy Stewart movie or performance would be in a specific movie. Some of these are supporting roles. Some of these are leading roles. I thought he was great in most everything that he did. But like all successful actors who have long careers, Jimmy Stewart made quite a few stinkers too. And we could do top 5 worst performances if you wanted to, but that's not today. The first on my list is Harvey. Harvey came out around Christmas 1950, and Jimmy Stewart would describe it on several occasions as his favorite role. He didn't just play it on the movie, he also played it on stage, on Broadway and in London. On YouTube, you can find some terrific stories with Stewart talking about playing the role and how much he enjoyed it. Harvey's about a very pleasant man named Elwood P. Dowd and his friend, who just happens to be a giant white rabbit, 6'3.5" to be precise. The fact that he had this imaginary friend led everybody in his life to believe that he was crazy. But in the end, the movie concludes that a pleasant, crazy man is better than most sane people on any given day. After all, how crazy is it to only be able to see the good things in people and in life? The alley scene's my favorite. Here's a clip.
What is it you do, Mr. Dowd?
Oh, Harvey and I sit on the bars and have a drink or two, play the jukebox. And soon the faces of all the other people, they turn toward mine and they smile. And they're saying, we don't know your name, mister, but you're a very nice fellow. Harvey and I warm ourselves in all these golden moments. We've entered as strangers. Soon we have friends, and they come over and they sit with us, they drink with us, they talk to us. They tell about the big, terrible things they've done and the big, wonderful things they'll do. Their hopes and their regrets, their loves and their hates, all very large, because nobody ever brings anything small into a bar. And then I introduce them to Harvey, and he's bigger and grander than anything they offer me. And when they leave impressed.
Number 2 on my list is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance came out in spring of 1962, and it was a great pairing between John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart. They had fantastic chemistry on stage. I can only imagine they were friends behind the scenes. Ultimately, this movie is about what you have to do in life to be successful, the compromises you make, and the regrets that you have. It's also about the people who help you through life, whether you deserve it or not, and they don't always get the credit. It's a story about regret and gratitude, attitude, and how life gets away from us. Jimmy Stewart is ultimately a great storyteller, and here he is telling a story in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Of course, this story not only concerns me. Old Pompey in there, Link, they were part of it. But I suppose I'm the only one who can tell it through.
I read about the old Asian shin bone in the paper's files. There was no mention of a tongue.
You're a young man. Young man. You only know it firsthand since the railroad came through. A lot different then. A lot different before, Mr. Scott. A lot different. First time I came to Shinbone, I came by stagecoach. A lot like that one right there. Well, could be the same one. Could be the same one. Oberlin say, I think it is the same one. Oh, I declare. Oh, I declare. I'm just a youngster, fresh out of law school, bag full of law books, my father's gold watch, $14.80 in cash. I had taken Horace Greeley's advice literally. Go west, young man, go west. And seek fame, fortune, adventure.
Third on my list of great Jimmy Stewart performances is Rear Window from 1954. The Hitchcock classic puts us in the seat of the voyeur, Jimmy Stewart being a voyeur who is a photographer who's laid up on a bum leg and has nothing to do in New York City. So he's watching out his rear window, watching other people live their lives while he just sort of rots away. Hitchcock's specialty was getting people to be terrified without showing them terrifying things. He let your imagination run wild. He didn't have to show you the gory murder. He just showed you what was happening and then let your mind run wild with it. And in this movie, Jimmy Stewart is the one who is playing all of us, basically. We're put in his perspective. We're sitting there, voyeurs right alongside with him. We feel all the emotions that he feels, and a lot of times it's just through the lines on his face. Here's a little clip from Rear Window.
Hello, Tom. I think Thorwald's left. I don't... Hello.
Fourth on my list is The Shootist, again paired with John Wayne. This one came out summer of '76, and it was John Wayne's swan song. This is where he was saying goodbye to his audience and playing a character that was going through a lot of the same emotions he must have been going through because he was playing a dying gunslinger, and John Wayne was in fact very sick whenever they started filming this. Jimmy Stewart's playing his doctor, and you can see the emotions that he must have been feeling because he wasn't just saying goodbye to the character, he wasn't just acting, he was saying goodbye to his friend, John Wayne. They were both old men, it was at the tail end of their career, and they knew they were checking out soon. And as he delivers the news to John Wayne that he's dying, his character anyway, books, he delivers the news, and you can see the emotion in Jimmy Stewart as he's telling his friend goodbye. Here's a look at The Shootist.
Books, every few days I have to tell a man or a woman something I don't want to. I've been practicing medicine for 29 years and I still don't know how to do it well.
Why don't you just say it flat out?
All right? You have a cancer. Advanced. Is that what that fella up at Creed told you?
Yeah.
You didn't believe him?
No.
You believe me?
Can't you cut it out, Doc?
I'd have to gut you like a fish.
Well, what can you do?
There's just very little I can do. When the pain gets too bad, I can give you something.
What you're trying to tell me is that Damn.
I'm sorry, Bogus.
And last but not least, It's a Wonderful Life. You knew this had to be on the list, right? This is the one that everybody's seen the most because of its tradition at Christmas. They play it every year on TV. If you've ever seen a Jimmy Stewart movie and you've never seen but one, this is probably the one you've seen. And in my book, it's probably his greatest performance. Everything about Jimmy Stewart that you love is in this movie. And one of my favorite scenes is where Mr. Potter is trying to bribe him, to hire him, to get him to give up on his principles, and he rejects. It's Stewart at his best. Every mannerism, every dramatic stutter, every pause, every hand gesture, it's everything you love about Jimmy Stewart if you like Jimmy Stewart. And it's an all-time classic. Take a look.
Is it a deal or isn't it?
Well, Mr. Plunner, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but I just, I wonder if it'd be possible for you to give me 24 hours to think it over.
Sure.
sure. You go on home and talk about it to your wife.
I'd like to do that.
Yeah, then in the meantime, I'll draw up the papers.
All right, sir.
Okay, George?
Okay, Mr. Potter. No, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. I don't need 24 hours. I don't have to talk to anybody. I know right now, and the answer's no. Doggone it. You sit around here and you spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing but a scurvy little spider. And that goes for you, too. And it goes for you, too.
And that's it for my all-time top 5 Jimmy Stewart performances in no particular order. What's your favorite? Did I miss one? Shenandoah gets an honorable mention from me, another later performance that I thought was pretty good. If you've got one, comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.